If you're a web developer, you know the feeling, right? That constant flood of new frameworks, new libraries, new tools. It is a jungle out there. So, in this quick explainer, we're going to give you a map, a way to navigate all of it.
I mean, does looking at a screen full of logos like this give you just a little bit of anxiety? That feeling of analysis paralysis? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. Choosing your tech stack feels like this monumental decision because, let's be honest, it is. But you know what? It doesn't have to be a confusing one.
So our whole goal here is to give you a mental model, a really clear map that helps you make sense of this landscape. We're not going to tell you exactly what to choose, nope, but we are going to show you how to make the right choice for whatever you're building.
Okay, first things first, every single project needs a foundation. I want you to think about it like you're building a house. Your UI framework, that's the concrete and the framing. It is the fundamental structure that everything else is going to be built on.
And really, your first big choice often boils down to this. Are you going with one of the titans or one of the challengers? Now the titans, we're talking React, Vue, and Angular. These are the battle-tested giants. They have massive communities and a library for pretty much anything you can imagine. Then you've got the challengers like Svelte and Solid. They're nimble, they're modern, and they are built from the ground up for just one thing: pure speed and an amazing developer experience.
And what I love about this is how it really shows the different philosophies at play. React is kind of like a box of high-powered Legos. It gives you total flexibility to build whatever you want. Vue finds this beautiful balance, which makes it famously easy to pick up. And Angular, that's your all-in-one prefabricated kit. It's perfect for huge enterprise apps where you need everyone to be on the same page.
Now on the other side, you've got the speed demons. And the really crucial thing to understand is how they get that speed. See, React uses this clever trick called the virtual DOM to figure out what changed on the screen. It's fast, but it's an extra step at runtime. Svelte is different. It's a compiler. It just skips that whole runtime step, writing super optimized surgical update code when you build your app. And then Solid.js keeps that familiar JSX syntax that people love from React, but it uses an even more direct reactivity system under the hood, also avoiding the virtual DOM for absolutely blistering performance.
Okay, so you've poured the foundation. You've got the frame up. Now, you need the actual blueprint for the rest of the house. You know, the plumbing, the electrical, the roof. Well, that's where meta frameworks come in.
So what in the world is a meta framework? It's pretty simple, actually. It's a framework that sits right on top of your UI framework. And you might ask why? Well, because a UI framework like React is amazing at building interactive little components, but on its own, it doesn't really handle things like page routing or fetching data from a server or server-side rendering. Meta frameworks solve all those big production-level problems for you.
And this shows the relationship perfectly. The choice is sequential. First, you pick your foundation, let's say React, and then you pick the superstructure that's specifically designed to work with it, like Next.js.
And here are the current leaders in the space. Next.js is pretty much the go-to for any serious React app, especially if you care about SEO. Nuxt gives you a very similar batteries-included experience for the Vue world. SvelteKit is the official and honestly the most elegant way to build full applications with Svelte. And then you have Astro. It's a really unique player. It's amazing for content-heavy sites because it ships almost zero JavaScript by default, which means your sites load incredibly fast.
All right, the structure is built. Time for the fun part, making it look good. We're talking paint, furniture, decor, and let me tell you, styling is one of the most hotly debated topics out there, and your choice usually comes down to your personal philosophy. The first philosophy is called Utility First, and it's championed by Tailwind CSS. The big idea here is that you have a ton of small, single-purpose classes that you put together directly in your HTML. You basically never leave your markup file, which lets you build things incredibly fast and keeps your designs super consistent. Then you have the second philosophy, CSS and JS, which, well, it flips that completely on its head. With tools like styled components, you write your actual CSS right inside your JavaScript component files. This is amazing for creating styles that only apply to that one component, and for styles that need to change dynamically based on your application's state.
And finally, we've got the classic approach, but with a major upgrade. Preprocessors like Sass basically give your normal CSS superpowers. They add features you'd expect in a programming language, things like variables, nesting, functions, which lets you write much more organized and maintainable style sheets, especially on big projects.
All right, the house looks fantastic, but we need to make it actually work. So welcome to the engine room. This is where we talk about the tools that handle your app's state, its language, and its testing. This is the plumbing and the electrical that brings everything to life. Time for a lightning round on state management. If you have incredibly complex app-wide state and you need everything to be super predictable, the battle-tested choice is Redux. If you want something way simpler and more modern for React, Zustant is a fantastic lightweight option. For super simple stuff, you can often just get by with React's built-in context API. Just be a little careful with performance. And over in the Vue world, Pinya is the new, official, and really well-loved choice for its power and simplicity.
TypeScript or JavaScript? Oh, this is a huge one. But the crucial point here is the trade-off. TypeScript adds this layer of safety that is just invaluable for big apps and big teams. It literally helps you catch errors before they ever happen. On the other hand, plain JavaScript gives you maximum speed and simplicity, which makes it perfect for smaller projects or just getting an idea off the ground fast.
And another lightning round for testing. For testing individual components, Jest has been the standard for years. But the Vite native tool ViteTest is getting super popular because it's just so fast. For end-to-end testing, simulating a real user, Cypress has an amazing developer experience with its visual runner. Playwright is another top-tier option, known for its incredible cross-browser testing power. But honestly, the most important takeaway here is the philosophy behind modern testing. You should test your app's behavior from a user's point of view, not its internal code.
So, we've laid out the entire map. We've looked at the foundations, the blueprints, the decor, and the engine room. The big question remains, how do you actually choose? Well, now we're going to give you a compass.
And it's really simple. It's a 3-question compass. Anytime you're staring at a technology choice, just run it through this filter. I promise it will almost always point you toward a good decision.
Okay, question 1, the project. What does this thing actually need to do? Is SEO critical? Well, then you probably need a meta framework like Next.js. Is it a super interactive dashboard? Maybe React or Solid is a better fit. Question 2, the people. Who's building it? If your whole team knows Vue, don't force them to learn Angular for no reason. Play to your team's strengths. And finally, question 3, the future. Where is this project going? You have to think about hiring new developers, long-term maintenance, and the health of the tool's community.
And all of that leads us to the single most important takeaway from this entire explainer. There is no such thing as the best framework. It doesn't exist. There is only the tool that is right for your project, your people, and your future. Your context is everything.
So, I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. As all of our tools, our frameworks, and even AI get smarter and more opinionated, are we heading toward a future where the quote-unquote best choice is just the default one? A future where all this complexity is just hidden from us? It's definitely something to think about. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one.